Hey everybody, it's time for Strat-O-Matic baseball. Spokane Steve here. A little bit delayed start today. I had a waivers in the Strat 365 league that just filled. So that's a lot of fun too. Really, Strat-O-Matic in all of its forms is fun. But I like cards and dice the best. Running around quite a bit today. Let's see how we're doing on the camera angle here. That looks sort of okay. Bear with me. I'm gonna change this just a little bit before we get underway here. There we go. I think that's a little better. Got the crowd noise up. Alrighty, we move on to April 23rd on the schedule. Today's game pits the New York Mets versus the Atlanta Braves. The Mets come in 1-5, the Braves 4-5 on the season. Remember, the Mets had a few rainouts. And there'll be two right-handers on the mound today. Dick Selma for the Mets, Hank Fisher for Atlanta. Fisher, as you can see by his card, would be dealt to Cincinnati later in this season. We did have one transaction today. The Cubs sold Harvey Keene to the Phillies for cash. So the Phillies continue to load up, and the Cubs, already in last place, continue to unload players. So that does not bode well for the Cubs. Although in the long term, they got Ferguson Jenkins out of the deal. So in the long run, they did quite well on the trade. But for 1966, not so good. Let's get to the starting lineups here now. I'll get this underway. Running around, I had to do some grocery shopping today. I feel like I'm behind on everything. That took way longer than it should have. But we're ready to go now. And here's the Mets lineup. It'll be Ron Hunt at second base leading off. Al Luplow will be in right field in the 2 spot. Ken Boyer at third base. Ed Kranepool at first base hits cleanup. Ron Swoboda gets the start today in left. Cleon Jones in center. John Stevenson doing the catching and hitting 7th. Roy McMillan the shortstop. And Selma the pitcher hitting 9th. For the Braves, it will be Felipe Alou in left field leading off. Gary Geiger will get the start in center today, batting in the 2 spot. Henry Aaron hits third in right field. Lee Thomas, the first baseman, in the cleanup spot. Joe Torre, the catcher, batting 5th. Eddie Matthews at third base. Dennis Menke at shortstop, and Woody Woodward at second base round out the lineup with Fisher batting 9th. So I got my tea here. We're about ready to roll them. About ready to roll them on a Friday afternoon. Took another step backwards today in my bronchial condition. But I did get another round of antibiotics, and I feel like I'm getting close. Okay, so here we go. Fisher's ready to go now, and Ron Hunt steps in from the right side. The umpire says play ball. Fisher goes into his windup. Here's the pitch to Hunt on a 5-6 to the right-hander. Swung on and missed strike 3, and we are underway. So Hunt down on strikes, and that'll bring up Luplow, the left-handed hitting outfielder. Fisher into the windup. Here's the pitch to Luplow on a 3-6. He goes the other way with it and slaps a base hit into left field. So a 1-out single for Luplow, no threat to steal. And here's Ken Boyer. Ken Boyer, the right-hander. Fisher from the stretch now. Pitch to Boyer is a 2-8. That's a fly ball to left. That's going to be playable for Felipe Alou. He's got it, and there's 2 away. And here's Ed Kranepool. Left-handed batter. Platoon player most of his career for obvious reasons. From the stretch, it's going to be a 3-8. That's a single to 5, but that's going to be a liner speared by Woodward, and that'll end the inning. So a liner to second for the Mets, no runs a hit, they leave a man. And just underway here, a half an inning in, it's Mets nothing, Braves coming to bat against Dick Selma. Selma, a 4.24 ERA in real life that year, mostly a reliever. This was probably a spot start for him, I have to assume. I don't know that for a fact. But I do remember Dick Selma, and I remember him as a reliever. And I don't think it was for the Mets either. Can't put my finger on it. I don't have access to my other computer. That's another story. I'll get to that one. As we move to the first, here's Alou. Selma gets the sign from Stevenson. Stevenson catching in place of Coleman today. 5-11 to the right-hander. That's a high fly ball to left field. Back goes Swoboda, back to the track at the wall, leaps up and makes the catch at the wall. Would you look at that? Home run to 17, and on 18, holy crap, Swoboda just does climb the wall and bring that one back. Wow. And with 1 down, here's Gary Geiger. The pitch to Geiger, a 3-10 against the righty, a grounder to second base. That's Hunt. Scoops it up and throws him out. Two away and nobody on, and Henry Aaron steps up to the plate. Selma gets his sign. Here's the pitch to Aaron. It's a 6-4 grounder to shortstop X. That'll be McMillan, a 3-E-20. McMillan into the hole, and here's the play. On a 19, he's got it. Plants long throw across in time. Nice play, McMillan, to retire the side. And Aaron still had some speed in those days, too. So 1-2-3 go the Braves, and we go to the second inning scoreless. Juan Swoboda will lead things off for the Mets here in the second. Fisher gets his sign. Here's the windup. The pitch to Swoboda, a 2-3 against the righty, and he hits him. Oh my, Swoboda hit by the pitch, and he'll take his base. So that one got away from Fisher. And Cleon Jones will be the hitter. From the stretch, the pitch to Cleon is a 5-8. Ball 4, he loses him. So Fisher has worked himself into a jam here in the second inning. Hit a batter and then walked Jones. First and second, nobody out. And here's John Stevenson, the left-handed hitting catcher. From the stretch now. Pitch to Stevenson on a 3-7. That's a grounder to second. That's going to be 2. Woodward to Menke to first. Double play. So Swoboda ends up at third on the play. 2 down, and here's McMillan. And the pitch from Fisher. A 3-7 single to 4, and it squeaks just past the third baseman. He knocks it down, Matthews, but he's got no play. And that's an RBI single for McMillan. Swoboda in to score. So let's look at that again. 3-7 righty, single to 4, the roll's a 3. And just like that, it's 1-0 Mets. And here's Selma, right-handed hitter. Fisher from the stretch. 6-9, base hit into right field. And there goes McMillan. He's rounding. He's going to go into third. And Dick Selma has a single. What do you know about that? A one-hitting pitcher. The worst you can be, in other words. And he gets a 2-out base hit. So Fisher's created most of his own problems here in the second inning. The Mets lead 1-0. And Ron Hunt will be the hitter. And here's the pitch to Hunt on a 2-8 grounder to short. That's going to be Menke. He's got it, throws him out, and that'll do it. The Mets get a run on 2 hits and leave a pair. And they take a 1-0 lead into the bottom of the second. And welcome, Kurt. Glad to have you. Kurt's for Atlanta. I kind of feel like Atlanta's underachieved so far. I know I keep saying it's very, very early, and it is. But they were a pretty decent team in '66. 4-5 record, not indicative of that at all. And they'll send Thomas, Torrey, and Matthews up against Selma here in the bottom of the inning. Thomas, the left-handed hitting first baseman. Selma gets his sign now, the windup. The pitch to Thomas on a 6-9, swung on and missed, strike 3. Thomas goes down swinging. And that's Selma's first K of the game. And here's Joe Torre now. Torre, the catcher, also played some first base that year. Selma with the windup. The pitch to Torre on a 6-5 is a grounder to shortstop X. That's McMillan. He's a 3-E-20. Mr. Shortstop, as he was known. And here's the play on a 6. He makes a fine play and throws Torre out. Of course, Torre's lack of speed didn't hurt any on that play. And here's Matthews. Eddie Matthews. Near the end of his career, 250 with 16 home runs. Boy, in his heyday, he was one of the best hitting third basemen in the history of the game, without a doubt. A definite upper-tier Hall of Famer. And here's the pitch from Selma. On a 3-7, it's a fly to center. Lazy fly ball. Cleon drifts over and puts it away. And it's another 1-2-3 inning for Dick Selma. And after 2 innings, it's 1-0 New York. And welcome, Jimmy Jam. Glad to have you, sir. I saw you over on Jeffrey's channel earlier. In fact, for those of you that aren't familiar, I try to do this every time, is to post a link to Jeffrey Guterman's fine Strat-O-Matic Sports Network. Does some of the best replays on the tube. I'll just call it the tube. 69 baseball, 72 football. Okay, Fisher done with his warm-ups as we proceed to the third inning. It's going to be Luplow to lead things off for the Mets. And here is the pitch, a 5-7 to the lefty. He walks him. A leadoff walk to Luplow. So Fisher a bit erratic with his control in the early going in today's ball game. And here's Ken Boyer. Boyer 0 for 1. Fisher from the stretch now. Pitch to Boyer on a 2-4. Fly to right field. Aaron drifting over now and makes the catch for the out. 1 away. And Ed Kranepool coming up. Kranepool, left-handed hitter. Fisher from the stretch. And the pitch is a 1-8 grounder to shortstop. That's going to be Menke to Woodward, and that's all they'll get. It's a force play. So Luplow is forced. Kranepool to first with 2 down. And Ron Swoboda will come up. Swoboda, of course, hit by the pitch his first time up. And he's digging right in there. He doesn't seem to care. He appears to be crowding the plate a little bit. As Fisher comes set in front of the stretch, the pitch to Swoboda on a 5-6. He struck him out. Oh, my, mind games there between Fisher and Swoboda. For the Mets, no runs, no hits, and they leave 1. And it's still 2-1. And thank you for that, Kurt Miller. That's interesting. A triple in this very season. Excuse me, as Selma gets ready to... Oh, there's my voice again. What do you know? Let me try to clear it out. Well, thank you, Jimmy. I try to play 6 games a week. I normally take Saturdays off. I took a couple extra days for Christmas. Bottom of the order for Atlanta in the third. It's Menke, Woodward, and Fisher. Selma, the sign from Stevenson. Pitch to Menke, a 3-8 fly ball to center. That's going to be an easy play for Cleon. He makes the catch for the out, and Selma's been perfect so far. And here's Woody. Selma, the pitch to Woody. A 2-11. That's a foul ball behind the plate. Stevenson drifting back now and makes the catch. And quickly there are 2 away in the third. And that'll bring up Fisher, a right-handed hitter. Selma with the windup. And that's going to be a 6-8 base hit for Fisher. So both of the pitchers have hits. 6-8 right-handed, double to 3. That's a base hit for Fisher with 2 away. And that will allow Felipe Alou to come to the plate here in the third. Alou flew out to left his first time up. Selma from the stretch. And here's the pitch on a 5-8. That's ripped down the right field line, and that's going to be trouble. Luplow chasing it down. Here comes Fisher, rounding. It trickles down, it bounces around in the corner. Luplow trying to get to it now. Here comes Fisher to score. The throw is in there, and Falou is in with a triple. Holy crap. An RBI triple by Alou. Selma scores. Let's take another look at it. 5-8 triple on a 1. How about that? Double anything else, it would have been an open double. And Selma, without much speed, probably, well, with 2 outs, he might have been sent, but it could have been close. And the Braves tie it up on a 2-out RBI triple by Felipe Alou. How about that? And here's Geiger now. Selma, the full windup. Pitch to Geiger on a 5-10. It's a fly to right. That's shallow. Here comes Luplow, still coming, and he's there. But the Braves are run on 2 hits, and they leave him out, and they tie the game up. 1-1 after 3. And bear with me, I'm going to get some Listerine and try to clear my voice a little bit. Okay, sorry about that. Had a couple of days of really good voice, low congestion. And today it seems like a step back again. And welcome, Dave Little. Great to have you, sir. Little Friday afternoon / evening Strat-O-Matic baseball. And Jeffrey's here. Welcome, Jeffrey. Wonderful to have you, sir. To the top of the fourth we go. Fisher's completed his warm-ups. And it's going to be Cleon Jones to lead things off for the Mets in the fourth. Lined up on the pitch from Fisher, a 3-6. That's a double to 4, and that's going to be a double. That splits the gap. Cleon rounding, and he is in there with a stand-up double to lead off the fourth. So Cleon in 66, 276, 8 home runs, 320 on base, 372 slugging. So not yet the star that he would become, but a pretty good year nonetheless. And here's Stevenson now, the left-handed hitting catcher, playing in for Choo Choo Coleman, who is feeling a little under the weather today, kind of like this announcer. And here's Stevenson. Fisher's pitch is a 5-5, swung on and missed strike 3, and down goes Stevenson on strikes. 1 down. And here's Roy McMillan. McMillan singled in a run in the second. And here's the pitch. On a 6-8, that's going to be a 6-9 rather, excuse me, 6-9. Huge difference because that's going to be a single plating the run. A double asterisk single. And McMillan's second RBI of the game as Jones comes around to score. So a little light-hitting Roy McMillan has driven in both of the Met runs today so far. 1 down. Selma, a C bunter. He's going to go ahead and lay it down. They're playing back on a 7. That should be good enough, I think. Yes, it is. So a successful sacrifice bunt by Selma moves McMillan into scoring position with 2 down. And that'll give Ron Hunt a shot. See if he can pick him up. And here it is. The pitch is a 1-6 to Hunt. That's a single to left field. That's an open single. McMillan can try to score on that. Let's take a look at that. 1-6 to left. That's Alou, a -2. McMillan, a 10 with 2 outs, 12. -2, a 1 through 10. With 2 outs, he's coming. And here's the throw from Felipe Alou, and he is out. Wow. McMillan gunned down at the plate. A strong throw from Felipe Alou, and that will end the inning. The Mets take the lead, however, on a run on 3 hits. And they take a 2-1 lead into the bottom of the fourth. A tightly contested game so far. Both pitchers seem to be on their game. And it'll be the heart of the Braves order. Henry Aaron to lead things off. Thomas on deck, Torrey to follow. Selma into the windup. The pitch to Hank Aaron, a 5-8. That's ripped into the left center gap. Chasing it down is Jones. Aaron rounding. He's in with a double. So a leadoff double from Hank Aaron. And the Braves have the table set. Thomas, Torrey, and Matthews, the next three hitters. Thomas, the lefty. Here's the pitch from Selma on a 3-7. That's a ground ball to second base. That's going to be playable for Hunt, who throws him out. And Aaron will take third on the play. So in a 2-1 situation with one out, New York's going to pull the infield in for Torrey. The pitch to Torrey, a 1-3, fly to center field B ? So that could be a tagging situation. Fly to center is Jones. He's a -1. Aaron can tag on that. Aaron, a 16 with two tagging up, makes him an 18. A 17, he's going to tag. Here's the throw from Cleon. He's in there. Aaron scores. Sacrifice fly by Torrey. And that'll be an RBI for him. Sacrifice fly Joe Torrey. And just like that, the Braves have tied it up. And with 2 down, Eddie Matthews will be the hitter. Selma from the full windup now. The pitch to Matthews, a 5-7. It's a grounder down to second. Easy play for Hunt, and that'll do it. A run on a hit. A double and a sacrifice fly, and it's 2-2 after 4 innings complete. Oh, boy. Still dealing with this bronchial crud a little bit. One day better, the next day not as good, up and down. Feel like I'm making progress though. That's funny, Kurt. It would be hard for me to do it right-handed because I would have to cross over and drop it into the tower. Plus, I need my right hand to hold the pen. But that's an interesting thought. Luplow will be leading it off for the Mets in the 5th. 2-2 ball game. Anybody's game as Fisher goes into the windup. Pitch to Luplow at 2-6. That's going to be a pop-up on the right side. Woodward calling for it. He'll take it. 1 down. And here's Ken Boyer, 0 for 2. Fisher in the windup. The pitch to Ken, 2-4, is a fly ball to right field. That's playable for Aaron. He drifts over and makes the catch. And 2 outs quickly here in the 5th. And Ed Kranepool will be the hitter. Kranepool's 0 for 2. Fisher gets his sign from Torrey. Here's the pitch. A 2-7, fly to center field. That's an easy play for Geiger, who makes the catch for the out. 1, 2, 3 go the Mets in the 5th. And it's still 2-2. Excuse me. I've got some decaf tea with honey. That helps. I've been trying to cut the coffee out after about lunchtime or 1 o'clock or so lately. I don't know if it's made any difference, but I haven't really given it a long enough chance to be fair. As Selma gets ready to go to work in the bottom of the 5th, he'll be facing the bottom of the order for Atlanta, Menke, Woodward, and Fisher. Here's Menke, 0 for 1. And here's the pitch from Selma. It's a 4-3 to the righty. It's a grounder to third base X. That's going to be Boyer, a 2E26. To his left, here's the play on an 11. That's going to be the error range. On an E26, he boots it. The roll is a 5, and that'll be an error on Boyer, and Menke's aboard. So E5, error Mets, and Dennis Menke is aboard to start off the bottom of the 5th. And here's Woodward. An A bunter, but you got the pitcher on deck. I'd love to lay one down here, but he's going to hit away. Selma from the stretch. The pitch to Woody, a 2-7. Single into right field. There goes Menke. He rounds. He's going into third. And on a base hit, sharply hit by Woodward, it's first and third and nobody out. And here's Fisher. Let's check Fisher's bunting rating. He's a D, so they're going to play back. They'll give it to him. And he's going to lay it down anyway. So on a D, we've got the roll of a 4. For a successful sacrifice bunt. How about that? So that'll push Woodward over to second base with 1 out. And now the Braves have second and third, 1 away. And here's Felipe Alou with Gary Geiger on deck. Alou, remember, tripled his first time up and drove in a run. In a tie game, once again, the Mets will pull the infield in. And here's the pitch to Alou. On a 4-9, that's a ground ball down to third base, knocked down by Boyer, but he can't do anything with it, and that's going to go as a single. And that will score Menke. So an RBI single for Alou. That's 2 RBIs for him today. Woodward will hold at third. And it's 3-2 Atlanta. Runners at the corners with 1 down. And the Mets will move to double play depth now, hoping to get a ground ball out of Gary Geiger. They'd also better get somebody up in the bullpen. Thomas Torrey, huh? They're going to get Darryl Sutherland, the righty, and Billy Hepler, the lefty, throwing. Selma only an S5. Remember, he mostly relieved that year. 1 more hit or walk will fatigue him. Runners at the corners, 1 out. Infield at double play depth. From the stretch, the pitch to Gary Geiger is a 1-7. Fly to center field B ? That's Jones again. Woodward can tag up. That would be the 2nd out of the inning. Woodward a 13, 15, 2 outs. A 15, Jones -1. It gives him a 14. He's tagging. Here he comes. Here's Jones' throw. And he's out. Strong throw by Cleon. And Woodward is gunned down at the plate to end the inning. No, that doesn't end the inning. I beg your pardon. We had an error, a single, a bunt for the 1st out. That fly ball was the 2nd out of the inning. So that was a huge out. And another fine throw by Jones. So Alou on first now. Let's check his speed. He's no threat to steal. Not held for Hank Aaron. Here's the pitch from Selma. It's a 2-2 liner right at Hunt, and that'll do it. Hunt makes the grab to retire the side. But the Braves do get 1 on 2 hits and leave a man on. And after 5 complete, it's Atlanta 3, New York 2. Selma also escaped fatigue that inning. Fisher's also an S5. but he retired the side in the 5th. And welcome Bob and Jay Wynn. Welcome, guys. And I was just saying that earlier, Bob. I feel like Atlanta's underachieved so far, but again, it's so very early in the season. It will be Swoboda, Jones, and Stevenson due for the Mets here in the 6th inning. Fisher gets the sign from Torrey. Here's the windup. And the pitch to Swoboda, a 6-4. It's a grounder to shortstop X. That's going to be Menke. He's a 4.38. And how many remember Menke's game in the field the last time the Braves played? Here's the play. It's an 8, error range. That's going to be an E38. The roll is an 11, and he boots it. Really no surprise there. E6, error Atlanta, and Swoboda's aboard. And here's Cleon. He's got a double and a walk. He scored. He's gunned down 2 runners on the bases. And like they say, what do you do for an encore? You know, Kurt, you're absolutely right. What do we have here? I'm so sorry. We had an error. The single. The bunt was the first out. Then he was thrown out at the plate. So I had it right the first time, and then I screwed it up, outthought myself. I'm so sorry, guys. And thank you, Kurt. And that's what I meant before about my scorekeeping, so I apologize. I'm going to erase that. That's the last out. Aaron will lead off the bottom of the 6th. That's the fairest way I can think of to do it. So Swoboda at first. Jones is the hitter now. Pitch from Fisher, a 1-6. That's a tapper down to short. That's going to be 2. Menke to Woodward to first, double play. Two down, and it'll be Stevenson. The pitch to Stevenson on a 6-7. That's a grounder to second base X. That's going to be Woodward, 3E24. And here's the roll on the play. On a 2, he can't get it. That's a base hit. So Woodward can't get to it. That's a base hit Stevenson. And McMillan will be the batter. McMillan's driven in both of the New York runs today. Fisher from the stretch. And here's the pitch on a 3-9. High fly ball to deep left field. Back goes Alou, and it's gone. Can you believe this Roy McMillan today? A 2-run home run. I got to look at that again. 3-9, righty, 1 through 7, and he's a weak, but it's on his card. The roll is a 5, and McMillan now has 4 RBIs. And the Mets take a 4-3 lead. Holy crap. And now the Braves have activity in the pen. Pat Jarvis and Billy Odell. But the story so far is this Roy McMillan. 3 for 3, a homer, 4 RBIs. He batted .214 that year and hit 1 home run. Oh my goodness. And now with the lead, they'll let Selma hit. There's 2 away, nobody on. On a 3-5, he hits a tapper down to short. Menke's got it, and that'll do it. But 2 for the Mets on 2 hits. 2-run homer by Roy McMillan, of all people. And the Mets take a 4-3 lead into the bottom of the inning. Oh, could have, but I'm not big on pitching around the 8-hitter. My theory is the guy's hitting 8th for a reason. Really, you want to get him out and then have the pitcher lead off the next inning, greatly decreasing your chances of scoring in the following inning. You are twice as likely to score in an inning when the leadoff man gets on than when he doesn't. So if you can have the pitcher lead off the inning and get out of the inning with the 8-hitter, anyway, that's how I play it. I just wanted to explain my thinking there a little bit. When I'm playing against somebody else, I will almost never walk the 8-hitter. So Selma handed a lead now. Let's see what he can do with it. And Hank Aaron will lead off the 6th. He incorrectly batted in the 5th, so we're taking that back. Here's Aaron to lead off the 6th. Selma with the windup. The pitch to the hammer, 1-7. He taps it down to short. That's going to be McMillan. Picks it up and throws him out. So at least he made an out anyway, so I feel like the universe is aligned again. Okay, here's Thomas now. Selma with the pitch, a 6-12 to the left-hander. It's a comebacker to the pitcher X. Selma's a 2 E18. And here's the play. On an E18, the roll is an 8, and he makes the play. One 3X, 2 down, and Joe Torre will be the batter. Torre 0 for 1. He had a sacrifice fly on the 4th. Selma the windup now. The pitch to Torre, a 4-10. It's a tapper down to short. That's McMillan. It's the Roy McMillan show today. 1-2-3 go the Braves. After 6 complete, it's 4-3 New York. And both starters still hanging in there. It'll be the top of the order for the Mets: Hunt, Luplow, and Boyer. And I like Jay Wen's comment. And in fairness to Menke, shortstop was not his best position. He was solid at second base and a very good third baseman. He was really playing out of position. It kind of makes you wonder why they didn't play Woodward at short and Menke at second. Although perhaps Menke didn't play. Maybe he didn't play second base that year. Let's take a look. No, he didn't. He played short, third, and first. I know he did play some second in his career, but apparently not in 1966. Anyway, we move along to the 7th. Hunt steps in. Fisher ready to work. Here's the windup and the pitch. It's a 2-9, a tapper down to second. Woodward's got it. Throws him out, 1 down. Here's Luplow, 1 for 2 with a walk. The windup, the pitch, 4-9, ripped past the bag and down the right field line. That's in for extra bases. Luplow rounding. He's going to go into second with a double. And Odell and Jarvis are both ready. Probably one more batter for Fisher. And it's Ken Boyer, 0 for 3. The pitch to Boyer on a 1-8 high fly ball into deep left field. Back goes Alou to the track, to the wall, just over the wall. 2-run home run, Ken Boyer. Holy cow, what about that? 1-8. Homer to 6 on a 5. It just does clear the fence. And it's 6-3 Mets. And here comes the manager, Bobby Bragan. That's going to be it for Fisher. He's fatigued. Anyway, that fatigued him. 2 hits in the 6th. 2 in the 7th. And that will end the day for Hank Fisher. I do not have the use of my other laptop, so I apologize for that. Fisher goes 6 1/3. He allowed 10 hits. 6 runs, all earned. He walked 2 and hit a batter. And struck out 3. And Billy Odell, the left-hander, is going to come on. One batter too late, I'm afraid. Although Boyer would have hit it off of him as well on a 1-8, 1 through 11. Anyway, 6-3 New York. Here's Cranepool now. The pitch from Odell. Lefty on left, 1-3. Grounder down to third base. That'll be Matthews to throw him out. And with 2 down, Ron Swoboda will be the batter. Odell gets his sign. Pitch to Swoboda, 3-6 fly to center field. Playable for Geiger, who makes the catch for the out. 2 runs, 2 hits for the Mets. 2-run blast by Boyer. And it's 6-3 New York. And the Braves continue to be in a funk. We'll have Matthews, Menke, and Woodward here as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Selma and S5, he's still out there. Here's the pitch to Matthews. 4-5 to the left-hander. Swung on and missed strike 3. Matthews down on strikes, and here's Menke now. Menke 0 for 2. The windup, the pitch from Selma, 5-5 to the righty, and he loses him, ball 4. So Menke jogs down to first on the 1-out walk, and the batter will be Woody. Woody 1 for 2. Selma from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Woodward. A 3-6. That's a base hit. Just past the glove of McMillan. Menke will hold at second. And now we're going to have a pinch hitter for Atlanta. So Odell faced two batters, retired both of them. Pat Jarvis, who is already loosening, is going to come in. And it's Rico Cardi time. Cardi pinch hit in this game in real life. And he's going to pinch hit now. Runners at first and second. One down. Cardi represents the tying run at the plate, and he's got some pop. Selma from the stretch. The pitch to Rico Cardi on a 3-4. Fly ball to right field. That's going to be playable for Luplow. He's got it. 2 down. Cardi got under that one just a little bit. And it'll be Felipe Alou now with 2 down. He's 2 for 3 today. RBI triple, RBI single. Selma from the stretch. The pitch to Felipe, a 4-6, swung on and missed, strike 3. Selma strikes out 2 that inning. For Atlanta, no runs to hit, they leave a pair. After 7 complete, it's New York 6, Atlanta 3. And here's Pat Jarvis coming on for Atlanta. Cleon Jones to lead it off for New York. He's 1 for 2 with a walk. Jarvis into the windup. Here's the pitch to Jones. It's a 3-6. That's extra bases. Double 1 to 4. It's a 1, and Jones is in with his second double of the afternoon. So a leadoff double from Cleon, and here's Stevenson, the left-handed hitting catcher. He's 1 for 3. Jarvis the windup. Pitch to Stevenson. That's a 3-5. Swung on and missed, strike 3, and down he goes. And here's McMillan. And I can hear Kurt already saying, put him on. Oh, excuse me. He's 3 for 3, 4 RBIs. But we're going to pitch to him. Here's the pitch to McMillan, a 2-7, struck him out. And it'll be Selma. He's going to bat. 6-9 to the righty, swung on and missed, strike 3, and Jarvis strikes out the side. No runs to hit, they leave 1. Six to 3 New York. Selma, a high wire act, an S5 going into the 8th inning. It'll be Gary Geiger to lead things off. The windup. The pitch to Geiger on a 2-9. That's a base hit the opposite way. Geiger reaches out and pokes one into left field. And he's aboard with a leadoff single. And here comes Aaron. For the Mets now, Gardner and Hamilton throwing. From the stretch, here's Selva's pitch to Henry Aaron. It's a 6-6 fly to right field. That's going to be playable for Luplow. He's there and makes the catch for the out. And with one down, it'll be Lee Thomas. From the stretch, the pitch to Lee. It's a 3-12. Grounder to first base, that'll be a force play. That's going to be Crane Pool down to shortstop, and that's it. Geiger is forced, and there's 2 away. And it'll be up to Joe Torre. Torre's 0 for 2. Selma from the stretch. Pitch to Joe, 3-5. High fly ball into deep left field. Back goes Swoboda to the wall. It's gone. 2-run home run, Joe Torre. And we got ourselves a ball game again. Thomas comes in to score. Let's look at that again. 3-5 to 13. The roll is a 4. And just like that, it's 6-5. And that's going to be it for Selma. A walk and a single last inning. He's fatigued anyway. So Selma certainly exceeded my expectations. Maybe one batter too long. But you guys that are regulars, you know I'll let the starting pitchers go. That's one of the main reasons I chose a 60s card set. Selma allowed 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 hits. 5 runs, all earned. He walked 1. Looks like he only walked 1. And he struck out 1, 3. And Jack Hamilton is going to come on for the Mets. Hamilton, a right-hander. Eddie Matthews steps to the plate with 2 down. 6-5 ball game. Here's the pitch to Eddie, a 5-8 to the lefty. Tapper down to second. Hunt's got it. Throws over to Crane Pool, and that will do it. But the Braves come up with 2 on a pair of hits. A big 2-run homer by Joe Torre. And at the end of 8 complete, it is New York 6, Atlanta 5. And Jarvis is going to come back out for the 9th. Let's see what else is down there for Atlanta. Olivo, who pitched in this game in real life. Necro, Kelly. Carroll's only available in a case of an emergency. It seems just from my memory that he's pitched quite a bit lately. And it'll be the top of the order for New York. Ron Hunt to lead things off. Jarvis the windup. The pitch to Hunt on a 1-8. That's a single. Base hit up the middle, and Hunt's aboard to lead things off. And that'll bring up Luplow. Jarvis from the stretch. Pitch to Luplow on a 4-4 is catcher's card X. That is going to be Torre, a 2E7. And here's the play. On an 11, that's the error range. So an E7 on the roll of a 7. He makes the play. Runner will advance a base. So Torre out to field it. His only play is to first. And Hunt will go into second with one down. And Ken Boyer will come up to the plate now. Boyer's 1 for 4 today, but that one was a big one, a 2-run home run in the 7th. And here's the pitch from Jarvis. On a 3-6, it's a liner, speared by Menke. Oh my goodness. So Boyer nailed it, but right at Menke, and there's 2 away. And that'll bring up Ed Kranepool. Ed's 0 for 4. Jarvis looking in now. The windup, the pitch, a 1-6 is a pop-up right side. Thomas calling for it. He's got it, and that will do it. No runs, a hit, 1 left. And here we go to the bottom of the 9th. The Mets leading by a run. Is Hamilton the best guy to close it? Let's have a look at that. Gardner and Sutherland pitched in the game in real life. Hepler's a lefty. It looks like he is. So the Mets are going to stick with Hamilton. It'll be the bottom of the order for the Braves. Menke, Woodward, and the pitcher's spot. As we get ready to roll here in the bottom of the 9th, the Mets leading by a run. Menke stepping in now. Hamilton, the windup. The pitch to Menke on a 5-8 struck him out. And that's 1 down. And here's Woody, 2 for 3 today. Hamilton, the windup. The pitch to Woody on a 1-3. It's a base hit the opposite field. Base hit into right field for Woody. Not a threat to steal. We're going to have a pinch hitter anyway. Pinch hitter for Jarvis, who worked 2 innings. 1 hit, and I'm sorry, 2 hits. I beg your pardon. 2 hits, 3 Ks, no walks. And let's see what they've got on the bench. Mike DeLahoz is coming off the bench. They don't have much left. They played their big gun already in Cardi. So it'll be DeLahoz here. Runner on first, 1 down. Braves trail by a run. Hamilton from the stretch. Pitch to DeLahoz on a 2-10, single to 18. That's in there. Knocked down by McMillan, but he's got no play. Everybody's safe. That'll be ruled an infield single. And the tying run is in scoring position with 1 out. The winning run at first base. And that's DeLahoz. Do they have anybody that can run? Does anyone have the pitcher's running numbers by any chance? Anyone watching? Is there an Atlanta pitcher who could come in and run for DeLahoz? What did I do with that thing? I've got that sheet here somewhere. But I'll be damned, I can't find it. Looking through these drawers where my pitcher's hitting cards are. And also the nameless players. I do not see it. And I'm talking about the roster chart, of course. Bear with me, I'm going to take a short break. This is kind of important. I know where it might be. Okay, I'm back. Thank you, Kurt. What's Cloninger's running rating? Do you have it? Cloninger's not even on this team. Yes, he is. Here he is. It doesn't have the running rating on the card, though. Do you have a roster sheet? That's what I was looking for. I don't know where the hell I put it. I apologize. It's kind of important because there's nobody on the bench who can run. I looked in the game box. That's where I thought it would be. Does anybody have a 66 roster sheet? It has the pitcher's running ratings on there. Son of a gun. I've got it. I don't believe it. I found the damn thing. Here we go. The following pitchers have running ratings. Blasting games of 1 through 12. Okay, this is interesting, and they're not even organized by team. Atlanta. Kelly's a 1 through 12. Necro's a 1 through 12. Schwal's a 1 through 12. Cloninger's a 1 through 14. Well, you sure nailed it, Kurt. There it is right there. Cloninger 1 through 14. And after all that, that's what it's going to be. Cloninger is going to pinch run for De La Hoz. So Cloninger, a 1 through 14, pinch hitting for DeLahoz. My apologies for the delay. So it's Woodward at second, Cloninger at first, one down, Felipe Alou the batter. Hamilton and R3, no danger of fatigue. And he's basically the best they've got. So the game, this is the game. The pitch from the stretch to Felipe. It's a 6-8 and he walks him to load the bases. Oh my goodness. Woodward down to third, Cloninger down to second. The bases are loaded with one down, and Gary Geiger is the batter with Aaron on deck. And let's look at the Met pen again. Gardner's bad. Sutherland's bad. Hepler's pretty good, but he's a lefty. Biernaar's better against righties. Let's see. Looks like Rybant's pretty good against righties. The Mets are going to go to the pen. Wes Restrom is not pleased with Hamilton's performance here today. As the drama continues to build. So Hamilton got an out there to end the eighth and only got one out in this inning. He surrendered 2 hits and a walk with a K. And Dennis Rybant's going to be given an almost impossible task here, trying to save this ball game for New York. He comes into the game with the bases loaded and one out, and Gary Geiger at the plate. He's ready now, and here's the pitch to Geiger. On a 5-4, it's a grounder to third base X. That's Boyer. He's a 2E26 down there. This is big. Here's the play on a 15. That's a ground ball A. That's double. It's going to be a double play to end the ball game. A fantastic play by Ken Boyer. Holy crap, and what do you know about that? So with the Mets on the ropes, Geiger hits a hard ground ball down to Boyer. He goes down to Hunt, back to Cranepool, and that's the game. So the Braves had the bases loaded and one out and could not cash one in to tie it. I really thought they were going to win it. Oh, that's a good question, Beach hunting, rather. What was the role, do you remember? That's for the defensive role, of course. It's the grounder to third X. That shouldn't be hard to figure out. Where is it? It's a 5-4. Let's have a look. Hamilton on a 5-4 is catcher's card X, which would have been Stevenson, who's not very good. So there might have been a pass ball or something on that. Well, let's look at it. There's the defensive role. That's what it would have been, just for curiosity's sake, okay? We can actually look at that. Stevenson's a 4E11 on a 15, pass ball and foul out. So they would have tied the game on a pass ball and there had been runners at second and third and 2 down in a tie ball game. So trying to bring in a better pitcher for the Mets, it blew up on him. Oh, I'm sorry. No, it didn't blow up on them. What am I saying? They brought in a better pitcher for the Mets, and it paid off. Because they would have tied the game if that was the same roll on the catcher's card X. Pass ball and pop out. So, what that means is a well-deserved save for Ryband. Anytime a pitcher comes in with the bases loaded, you're not expecting miracles, right? They took the 4-3 lead in the 6th, which they never relinquished. So Selma is the winning pitcher. Fisher is the losing pitcher. I'm sorry I don't have my other laptop available right now. But Atlanta continues to underachieve. The Mets improved to 2-5. The Braves dropped to 4-6. Ryband faced one batter and got 2 outs. So your totals are for the Mets, 6 runs on 12 hits, they made an error. For the Braves, 5 runs on 10 hits, they also made an error. A lot of hits in this game. And honestly, I was kind of pulling for the Braves because I feel like they're underachieving. Not that I have anything against the Mets, but frankly, they just weren't good in 66. Yeah, it looked to me like Hamilton was blowing it. And even though I was for Atlanta, that's what I mean. I mean, I really do try to be impartial. Boy, and you're right, Kurt. Aaron standing on deck, bases loaded and 1 out, just salivating to get up there. And he's left standing in disappointment. Wow, what a game. And thanks, Kurt, for the assist. I appreciate it. Back here in the 5th inning. So that's it for me. I'm going to take tomorrow off. But I'll be back with you on Sunday at the usual time, 2 p.m. Pacific. We'll have another game. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out with me today. I sure do appreciate it. I hope you all enjoyed it. This is Spokane Steve Aquilon. I want to wish you all a good evening and have a great weekend, guys. Thanks again.